Okay, which side do you see? This? You
Yeah.
see it?
I see
Okay.
what is Markdown.
Okay.
First of all, what presentation tool are you using right now, Peter?
PowerPoint?
PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Easiest, we learn it in school. It's easy to use. Okay, this is Markdown by me. So what is Markdown to begin with? So Markdown is one of the most basic web page document creating language that you can use, especially as a beginner. And you barely need to know anything just to use some basic things. If you want text, just type. You don't need to do any syntax for text. But when you want to bold, change font size, add lists and stuff, you do need to know a few basics. So this is just some basic syntax. When you're using Markdown to just write basic things, you can just type. To add bullet points, use the dash or hyphen symbol and a space after that. When you do that, it'll create a list, and then when you press enter and do the next one with the same dash and space, it'll show bullet points in the preview, and then when you publish it. Another basic thing is font and slash heading size. To control the size of your heading, all you need to do is put the number signs and a space before the text. One number sign is the biggest and 6 is the smallest. You can see by this picture here. Another very basic thing to learn is line breaks. When you create a new line, all you need to do is put 2 or more spaces at the end of the line. In this picture, I've highlighted 2 extra spaces at the end. Emphasis. So emphasis is what bold and italicizing is. So when you're using Markdown, maybe you want to bold or italicize your text. For bold text, all you need to do is put 2 asterisk signs before and after. Don't make sure that you do both before and after, otherwise it will not work. This can go from just a character to like the whole line, like anything really, but you can't go more than one line actually. If you press enter, it won't work. Italicizing is the same thing. You just put 1 asterisk sign instead of 2. So for bold, you put 2 asterisk sign, but for italicizing, you put 1. You can also get the go from the italicizing can go from the character, just a character, to anything you want that's in a line. It's the same as bold. If you want, instead of using asterisks, you can also use underscores. But when you use underscores, you cannot put it in between words or letters because Markdown just doesn't like to understand that. You can also combine the two by using 3 asterisks or underscore. Here's some example pictures. So you can see here with bold, it's 2 asterisks on both sides. In HTML, it's like this. And we'll talk about the relationship between Markdown and HTML later. The output is just the bold text that's part inside of the asterisk is bold. Same thing with Markdown, it's just 1 instead of 2. You can combine them by putting 3. You can see it here. You can even put 2 underscores and 1 asterisk to combine them. Now, once you understand the few basics, the easiest way to learn is to just do it. And Dillinger.io is one of the easiest places to learn how to write Markdown. I wrote this in about 10. Well, I had to open the page and do some research how to use it. It's really easy, and I'll show you a little bit at the end. But Dillinger is just basically a place that you use Markdown. So here you can see this is my Markdown code, and this is what it will come out on the page. So this is when I used a heading size 1, biggest size over here. And this is just normal text. I put an asterisk here. I typed a few things and I talked about how Markdown works, like how it goes into the web page. So the way that Dillinger works and makes the text is the same as most Markdown interpreters. When you write in Markdown, you'll realize at the top there's a .md or .markdown extension at the end of the file name. Like .py with Python, .md is for Markdown. The way that the Markdown file is going to the output is by going from the Markdown file to the Markdown app, and then it will convert it to HTML, which can be easily converted to the output on the web. So, oops. How do you here? So, as I was talking earlier, HTML and Markdown are used are related because Markdown is translated into the code and then into HTML, which is what they use to write code on the websites. What is Markdown even good for? Markdown is a very fast and easy way to take notes, create content for websites, and produce print-ready documents. This means you can use Markdown for note-taking, like OneNote, create content for a website, like basically HTML, but way easier. But HTML can also do more things, but this is the quick, easy way to do it. It can also produce print-ready documents, which means you can just make a document and print it out, like Word, basically. It doesn't take long to learn Markdown syntax. It's one of the easiest. And Markdown can even help you learn HTML because it's quite similar, except HTML has more complex syntax. Markdown is mostly just text. Most people use Markdown to create content for the web, but Markdown is good for formatting everything from like email messages to grocery lists. There's many other lists. Remember how at the beginning I said you can put a dash symbol in front of some text to make sure there's a space and it will make a list. You can also make numbered lists by using a number and a period. Like this, but instead of the parentheses, it's just a period. But for a numbered list, you do have to start at 1. You can make it with custom numbers by putting parentheses like this at the end. You can create with non-digit. It's a spelling error here. But non-digit characters like I, 2 I's, 3 I's. Capital letter, you have to put 2 characters, like 2 spaces after the period. And a checklist. The checklist, you can't actually click on it. It's not interactive, but you can put like when you want to edit it, you just go into your code and fix it. And that is it for the presentation. Now I will show you a quick thing about Dillinger. Up right here. So this is what I was using earlier. Like, I actually need to unshare this and share my other screen because I was sharing just the. All right, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what Dillinger is. I can delete this. I don't need it. Dillinger is really easy. When you open it, all it is this. It's really easy to use. You can see there's a .md. You can rename it. Actually, I forgot how to rename it. Okay, you can just do this. So .md. This is just quick presentation. When you want to type, you just type hello. This is me typing, and you can see how quickly it shows up in the preview. And you can export it. You can save to import. You can preview as PDF. What does this do? It's a PDF. You can print it. It's very easy to use. What is this? This is in HTML, like a web page. Styled HTML. I don't know the difference. It just moved it over a little bit. And Markdown. It's basically HTML. We can figure that out later. I didn't really go into that. So let's just do a basic little, like a quick little essay about like what Markdown is. So let's put a heading. What is Markdown? Markdown is 103. Oh yeah, and also on Dillinger, I forgot to mention, Dillinger, when you use it, you don't have to put the double space at the end. It just does it automatically for you. So it'll type the next line right here. So Markdown is one of the easiest tools to use. Markdown. And here I have bolding. How about I just bold it? And you can see here, it's not bolded yet because I haven't put the 2 at the end. And once I do that, it's bolded over here. And I'll just bold the E right here. I need to put double.
Okay, so cool. You can bold the text, you can make text italic, thing like that. But how do you make bullet point? And I'm gonna put an extra line here so it looks a little better. Put a dash sign, space, just the list. Grocery list. Bananas. You see, it turns it red because this is really helpful when you bold or italicize a word that's called emphasis, and it will turn it green. A list will turn it red, and when I press enter right here, it will automatically put the next dash right here. Apples, cookies, milk, junk, chips, eggs, and then I got it, Peter. Here, calm down. We don't have to
Okay.
go through the full shopping. How about number bullet points?
list. I was just gonna do that. Now numbered list, you just put numbers dot, and then you see here it's already like tabbed over, and you can just do hello. This is number 1.
Okay,
And it automatically.
How do you use a sub menu of the list? Let's say
What do you mean?
then some sub item of this is number 1, and then
I actually don't know how to do that.
more.
I don't remember how to do that.
Then 2 times and then 3 dots.
What do you mean?
And then in 2 indentation, and then do the 3 dots. Yep, like that. And then over, we will see that. That's how you indent the bullet points, right? You can
okay.
don't do like 1, 2, and 3. Let's do 1, and then you have 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
Just 1 indent, Peter. Just 1 indent, 1 indent. 1A, and 1B. Yep.
You can also put custom numbers by putting parentheses after it, and it'll still be a dot, but it will be a custom number.
Okay, moving on. Is there beside number list bullet points? What else?
You can also create a checklist, kind of. Well, actually, you can also make it with non-digit numbers, like you can use I from the previous examples. Show you how to. Did that work?
That works.
Work.
Yeah. And
I
then
mean, it looks like this, but it shouldn't. It should be like this, but
there's a variety of ways you can do this, and then format it out. Okay, so that's cool. Oh, awesome. Now, do you know how to make table?
no, I didn't get to that.
Well, can you quickly search on Dlinker? They have documentation. Open a new tab on Dlinker. Just duplicate that tab. You know.
Which one?
Documentation, maybe.
Document?
Yeah, quick presentation tutorial. Maybe.
That's what I did.
Okay. So they don't have documentation here on the website.
I can also just use Markdown guide or how to make Markdown tables. Table. So to add a table, use 3 or more hyphens to create each column's header and use pipes to separate each column. So like this.
Okay, make a table of your friend, name and height, so that you can have all your friend name and the estimate height.
Name. Name. I am job on legs. Back legs. Roy. Um, I'm just gonna edit, do it in inches. I thought doing it in numbers, and that would be fun, but okay. 4 foot. Roy's like 5'3". She's like 5. And you can see the table right here.
Hey Peter, you think? Okay. All right, that's good exercise, Peter. All right, I just want to make sure you understand how to make a table. That's great.
Yeah.
So okay, so I think this is the majority of things you can do with Markdown. The idea here, the Markdown is very convenient. That's fastest way to do documentation. In fact, most of projects online these days, note taking, people use Markdown because it will be, you can do a Markdown file and you can load it and it look correctly beautiful inside the browser.
What do you mean by that?
It's kind of like a replacement for HTML, right?
Yeah.
If you create a markdown.md file and you just put it on the web, people open it, it will look like a web page. Okay, that's convenient of it. For sure, when we do more projects, we will use that more often. Okay, so this concludes the presentation today that we have, Peter. I'm going to stop the recording here and then share with your friend. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, and then we can move on to the next. Now, between you and me, Peter, now this is between you and me. Let's prepare for the next presentation. open the list of topics.
Wait a sec. I'm gonna. I just sent the PowerPoint in the chat.
Okay, I will share the video later as well.
Okay, I stopped sharing.